I hope you're doing well. I'm going to check the sound one moment. Sounds good. That's beautiful. The title of this video is A Linguist Who Speaks One Language is Like an Architect Who Only Built a Hut. Let's make it larger. Make it even larger. Okay, that's large enough. I will show you the video after so you can see that it's not a Photoshop job. Well, that username who left a comment on probably his latest video. We're talking about the so-called linguist. And he asked, "Sir, how many languages do you speak?" I always wondered about that. And the reply from the plagiarizer is, "Peace and blessings. Thank you for your inquiry. I speak English. I read French. But my spoken French isn't the best. Still learning Chiluba, but nowhere enough to hold a long conversation. I hope this helps." I stated many times that we have a confirmation now that this so-called linguist only speaks one language, and this is his mother tongue. He wrote that he reads French, and that's just phony. And I will show you why. I'm going to share the link in the chat before I play the video. I have the video in the chat. Sorry, Motep says that Diop is inconsistent, then he pretends to know French. Let me share the video now. Video. Right after the title. And I'm going to timestamp 1:4:55. Hour 1 minute 4 second 55. Let's listen up. I will play just 5 minutes.
Here, and then we get to chapter 5. So this is chapter 5, right? And let me go here. So, all right. So this is the text. So keep in mind that his argument for Kemet is essentially 3 or 4 pages. It's really kind of brief, but it ends on the 4th page. So it goes to page, let me see, okay, maybe 5 pages. So it is, that's 1, so 92, 93, 94, 95, and then kind of ends there. So on page 92, 3, 4, 5. So it's just 4 pages, as I said. So this is kind of like half a page right here. So notice that there is no series, and this is exactly what I said, that there is no series, no comparative series between the words Kim or the words in the Egyptian language that have Kim as the root and words in the Wolof language. He just only deals with this word black. And remember what we said when it came to the doing etymology, that this research in time relies on good etymologies of words that exemplify sound laws and irregularities of word formation. And Sheikh Anta Diop does not do that in this text. He just takes one word, and you can see this form here. So remember, I said he's Sheikh Anta Diop is inconsistent in what forms of the word that he's comparing. So in that other one that we saw on page 41, let's go back to page 41. Here we go. You can see he has Kim, Kemet, and then he has in Wolof KHEL, black, charcoal, right? But when we go to page 92, uh, where am I? Oh, that's bad. I went too far. Here we go. He has HEL. So this was, initially confusing for me because anyone who knows about, phonology and the like, we have to be consistent with, how we're representing. And so, in kind of modern dictionaries, what he's representing as this sound here is usually going to be given as an X in the dictionaries, right? So let's read what he says. So you know, this is particular expressions and terms in French. What he's saying here. So what he does first is he does the comparison with Kim, and this is a pile of burning coals, and in the actual water bush, he'll have another word there that means Kim, which is a kind of a cooking stove. But he doesn't put that in here. And he says to carbonize or to burn or whatnot. And this is what is he saying here? It is not erroneous then for this hieroglyph to be taken to mean the scales of a crocodile. He puts it in quotations. Excuse me. He puts it. He ends it with a question mark. And so what he's
All right. Now, you've heard him state that Diop is inconsistent. And you've heard him pretending to read French. This is here what we had on the screen. This is how I saw him all fake the fraud, pretending to be able to read French. He pretends as if he's familiar with the French enough to read it. I'm not faulting anyone for not knowing a foreign language, but to pretend to be able to read the language. I mean, coming from this guy, I mean, this is the guy who said that he's a historian. This is the guy who said um, that he's an anthropological linguist. This is the guy who said that he studied physics. And there's so many other. This is the guy who said that Allah is Allah is an indigenous African god. And there's so many other quotes. Anyway, at the bottom, I have my translation. Now let's compare the result of him pretending to be able to read French and the proper translation. So he said, what he obviously did is he looked at words that are similar, that look alike, that kind of somehow, somewhere have the same root in French and in English because there's so many. We have words that are actually spelled exactly the same in French and in English. For example, information. In French, we pronounce it information, but it is spelled exactly the same. Now, there are other words where you will have some differences with a couple of letters, with just a few letters. So it's obvious to me because I'm more than fluent in French. I'm a native French speaker. French is my mother tongue. And it's obvious that he looked at those words that look similar and he attempted to come up with some translation. He basically wanted people to think that he knows the French language enough to make some translation. Just like he wanted people to think that he had some credentials or degrees in linguistics. And that's why when I asked him, do you have a degree in linguistics? He replied, I have a degree in computer science and we dealt with linguistics. That's being disingenuous. But anyway, he said to carbonize or to burn or whatnot. And this is what is he saying here? He's even asking the question, what is he saying here? But yet he's attempting to translate. And he added, it is not erroneous then for this hieroglyph to be taken to mean the scales of a crocodile. Then he realizes that there's a question mark. But this is the proper translation here. Pile of charcoal that is burning, or if you prefer, pile of burning charcoal. Now, to charcoal is not something that is used often in the English language, but this is basically the verb charcoal. If you look it up online on a search engine, it does exist. It is thus wrongly, or if you prefer, mistakenly, that this hieroglyph is taken for crocodile scale. And that's a question. So if you prefer, um you can just think of the sentence as, is it thus wrongly? You know? So look at the difference here. A Sahim or fake trying to make people believe that he's familiar with the French is ultimately saying it is not erroneous for this hieroglyph to be taken to mean the scales of a crocodile. When Diop actually wrote that it is wrongly or erroneous that this hieroglyph is taken for crocodile skin. It's actually it's like a interrogation, it's a question, but that's really his statement. So this is the result. This is the result. So he has the nerves to say that Diop is inconsistent, and then he proceeds to do this. And those are the this is the guy who cannot even get a translation from French to English, but yet he was supposed to listen to this dude with the meta nature. You can do the test. You can contact any linguist that has a degree in linguistics. Others are self-proclaimed linguists, not recognized linguists, not recognized in the field or by the peers of the linguistics. Ask them how many languages they speak. In linguistics, they don't teach you foreign languages per se, but you will notice, you will realize that those linguists will tell you the languages that they speak fluently and the languages that they don't speak fluently. And it will not be just one language. I'm talking about the language that they speak, the languages that they speak fluently. That's one off. Now, what we have seen earlier is that when it comes to the French language, he's not reading it, he's guessing, he's doing guesswork. And like you heard me said, because you have some words that have the same roots, you have some French words that are actually spelled the same way as the English words. He's faking the funk. He's pretending. And what's interesting is that one of this guy and his fellow Riparianites source for the claim that the place name Kemet is riparian land or riparian zone or whatever that is a French book by Jean-Claude Mboli, who is not a linguist. So we have seen his demonstration. We have seen that his translation changes the meaning of the sentence. What will it be with a book written in French about linguistics from a non-linguist? There's another book that is also one of their source of inspiration, and it's the book about arthribus by Pascal Vernus, and it's a French book again. So this is a recipe for disaster. We have Love Me for in the place to be. Hope you're doing well. Oh, I almost forgot. Just so you can see that I'm not making it up. I'm going to open a new window. Um, so that's his channel, and you can see his latest video streamed one day ago. And it has 82 likes. That's good. And I wonder how many likes they bought. because they bought the books themselves and they gave them away. And what's up, Pan African James? I hope you're doing well. So just so you can see, just so that you can see that I'm not making it up. There it is. That's the comment there. Is it shown well enough? Yeah, I can make it a little bit larger. See? I saw how many languages do you speak? Always wondered about that. And he liked that comment and he replied to it. And that's his reply here. Now it looks different because the screen print that I've shown previously was done on my mobile phone. So that's why uh, rather than being rather than the text being vertical here, it is horizontal. But you can see here, I wrote I speak English and I read French. So that's what I wanted to show. I've shared the link in the chat. Feel free if you want to holler. And tomorrow I will live stream about Far Muhammad. Love Me for Road, those likes was for Kanye. What is amazing is that nowadays anybody can be a fraud and it will have followers. The Riparianites are quite amazing, but that's how groupies get down. Hey, we have Smash in the place to be. How you doing, Smash? I don't know if you missed that, Smash, but just so you can see it, our linguist friend, put friend in quotation, the self-proclaimed linguist with no degree in linguistics, who has not produced any peer-reviewed work in linguistics, he actually confessed that he speaks only one language. So, in the history of mankind, for the first time ever, we have a linguist that speaks only one language. And though he wrote that he reads French, um, that's just guesswork. He's the one that's guessing, not Diop. Had the nerves to say that Diop guessed. Had the nerves to say that Diop was irresponsible as a scientist, and he had the nerves to say that Diop was inconsistent. But he is that riparian knight. He's the one who was actually guessing. He did that live on air on his own platform. So, like I was saying, tomorrow I'm going to do a live stream about Far Muhammad. I haven't finished that one, and it looks like my daughter took away the. I even forgot how you call it in English, but that stuff to keep track of the page. Well, I'll take from that one because that one I haven't really read it, so I'll have to go through my notes to see where I stopped. But yeah, I haven't finished that one. And to my knowledge, it's the first book ever on Far Muhammad written by a PhD. But it's not a big thing. It's just something that is close to what Elijah Muhammad's own son said before. So it's going to be tomorrow, and it's going to be 4 p.m. EST, New York time. It's been a little while I did not live stream. Now I'm done with that little topic. So if somebody wants to say holla, and it might become a tradition now, but it's up to the people to participate. But I would like to have somebody, hopping on the channel so I can close out. But if nobody comes, it is what it is. But I always love to hear from you, brothers and sisters. I mean, it would be good to represent. I mean, the riparian knights, as phony as they are, they represent. They remain anonymous and unidentified, which is understandable. You know, besides maybe three of them, because it's difficult to own up to falsehood publicly. So the Twitter finger game is on fleek. But here you don't have to worry about falsehood. Falsehood is not promoted here, and it does not gather respect. People have their clicks, some of them making money. It's on them. More power to them. If people want to be clowns and support, circuses, it's on them. But it will be good for people to represent for what's accurate, what's factual, what's valid. And I hope you haven't been threatened. Because you have to wonder at some point. Now, if nobody wants to come, then at least, feel free to ask some question or something. I would love to have some interaction. We have 12 people online. How many likes do we have? I ain't gonna pay for no likes. There are several websites that offer you subscribers, likes, comments, and that's for different platforms. 6 likes only. Hey, it is what it is. I ain't gonna trip on that. I'm gonna have some beats coming up. I'm going to go back to making beats. Let me know what's popping. Well, you know what? It's been 27 minutes. So when it reaches half an hour and there's no participation, I guess I can call it a day. Half an hour is reasonable. I hope everything is well on your end. With Mr. Samo, just have a lot of reading to do. There was something that I saw in the conscious community, but I actually forgot. It might come back to me. Maybe not this evening, but maybe by tomorrow it will. So I hope that you will make yourselves available for tomorrow. For those that don't know, no matter the topic, uh, when I'm live streaming, all questions are welcome. And no matter what you might have been told about me, hold on. I welcome callers as long as they don't mind showing their face because this is a requirement to get on the panel. But people can still participate in the chat. I usually go through the messages in the chat. And, you can put me to the test. I don't screen the callers. Most of the people who dislike me are pushing falsehood, defending rapists and pedophiles. So they don't hold much value in the world of people that have integrity. Hey, 20 seconds to go. We have 14 people online. Looks like I have people who are not down for the cause. Monitoring. It's all good. And that's it, half an hour. Thank you for being there. Stay safe, stay healthy. And if I am allowed to, by the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Do I do Necheru? If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Hold tap.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving mental nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first meta nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other meta lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the meta if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the meta get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medunetia classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medunetia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.